Okay, this is my review for Alien Romulus. I can't believe it's already been about 7 years since Alien Covenant came out. Back then, Disney still didn't even own the Fox license. So, at the time, I didn't really have any high hopes that there was going to be any more Alien movies on the horizon, especially after Disney took over. Now, when Disney acquired the license, I was like, well, that's it. They're not going to be making any more Alien movies, probably ever. And if they were, not anytime soon. And now we fast forward to year 2024, and this is an Alien attempt movie under the Disney banner. And what can I say? I went in with really mild hopes this time. Alien Covenant was so bad, and if you want to see the movie review, the link will be in the description below. But so bad, so nonsensical, very stupid. I hate to say this, but Alien Romulus, really bad, really stupid, and really nonsensical, and is guilty of the sin that most movies are nowadays, where they retcon everything. The movie had me hooked at the beginning. We're talking about the very intro, the part where, oh yeah, by the way, I should say this. Warning, this video will contain spoilers for all of Alien Romulus. So if you haven't seen it, don't watch the video. So the opening of the film had me kind of hooked in. We're talking like right after the opening credits scene, if not still in the opening credits scene, where it shows the blown up remnants of the Nostromo ship. Now, what I immediately sat up and was kind of worried about when I saw it was the pod that the Weyland-Yutani scientists were towing back onto the ship. I was sitting there and I was just like, there's no way this is what I'm thinking it is. It's probably like, maybe it's gonna be something like from Alien Isolation, and it's just a weird, I don't know, pod thing that the Nostromo flight recorder deck is on. But as I saw it, as it came closer to the ship, my fears were very much relevant and answered at that point. Somehow, it's the xenomorph from the very first movie, the big chap. How and why it was floating right next to the destroyed remnants of the Nostromo ship, How? Doesn't make any sense. If you're asking because you've never seen it, because what I did notice in the theater this time, unlike people my age or older, there was a lot of kids in there. Like kids like 9 to 12 years old there, maybe with like their dad. But a ton of kids, and I'm sure a ton who have never seen the Alien movies ever. If this is their first movie-going experience to see an Alien film, then that fucking sucks, because they're gonna watch the old ones and be like, this isn't anywhere near as cool, because they're not acting all like zoomery, if that makes any sense. They're not acting like kids act today, how these kids in this movie kind of act. They don't act like they just don't act like people. Now, what do I mean? If you're asking yourself, why wouldn't the xenomorph be there? Well, one, because when at the end of Alien in 1979, Ripley blows the xenomorph out of the airlock, right? We see it fly out into space. And then what happens? The Nostromo blows the fuck up. Like atomic nuclear blast level of explosion that Ripley almost doesn't get away from. And you're telling me that somehow the xenomorph wasn't eviscerated if it was even close enough to the Nostromo ship. Just wasn't eviscerated right away. Okay, that's big issue 1 right there. The xenomorph should have never even been there to begin with. And why it was in some sort of like larva pod thing, never explained what it is. It's just there, just chilling inside of there, literally. Now we get to our main characters and our storyline right here. Obviously something bad had happened on the Romulus ship. We just don't get to really see what happens yet. So we get to the planet, this mining planet. It's not LV-426, and that is what really kind of irritated me for a second. Well, it got my hopes up, and then I got irritated right away, because when it's presented to you at the very opening shot, you see the giant nuclear reactor that you saw in Aliens. So in my mind, if I'm thinking logically, that looked to me like it could have been, since it's in between Alien and Aliens, the precursor of what an established Hadley's Hope was going to be. I thought that's what we were going to be looking at. A very, very bare-boned, up-and-coming little place that Weyland-Yutani was setting up. It looks almost exactly the same, except no, it's like some random mining planet. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to care about that. So, as we're getting to meet these characters, these kids, I keep calling this, when I was at the movie theater, this is Goonies, the Alien Adventure. So we meet these kids, and obviously all of them are all like lost children. None of them have parents anymore. All the parents have died working for Weyland-Yutani in this mining planet, and they're trying to get off. The main character, I don't remember any of their names because they truly aren't very important. The main character's girl that they're trying to set up to be like a new Sigourney Weaver, which fails like horribly. She's told her years that she's going to have to spend working on this planet just for raised by like another 60 years or something like that. Something stupid and unrealistic. So she goes to her friends, and oh, by the way, she's carrying an android with her, a synth. And what's interesting about this is, I will give them credit showing that there is another different kind of synth working for Weyland-Yutani, or made by Weyland-Yutani at the time, because all we ever saw was Bishop and Ash in the Alien movies, and randomly in Alien Resurrection, instead of the ship being called Mother, it was called Father, whatever. But like in Alien Isolation, there were different synths, and there was different companies and things like that, and some lower graded and more dangerous. But we never ever saw one directly made by Weyland-Yutani before. So whatever, that was interesting, but at the same time handled very fucking weird. Why does the android act like he's Dustin Hoffman from fucking Rain Man? I don't get it. I mean, I know that Ridley Scott had his hands in this again, and if you remember what I said in the Alien Covenant video, yeah, I still agree with that to this day. I don't think Ridley Scott should be anywhere near the Alien franchise after Covenant. I mean, it was that bad. It is that bad. I mean, it makes Alien Resurrection and Alien 3 and Alien vs. Predators stories, at least, hold up better. Now, I fucking hate Alien vs. Predator, but that's a completely another video or another time I can talk about that. I hate that movie. So yeah, I don't understand the whole thing with the synth being like fucking brain dead or whatever. other than the little jazz hands excuse that we get that she grew up with this android her dad made. Like, we're supposed to care. That's the one thing about this movie that I can say is consistent through the entire fucking thing, over and over and over. They keep presenting us with all these characters in the movie, and you care about none of them because they do nothing to establish any reason why you should care about them. It's the same problems that we saw in Alien Covenant. It's the same issues we see in a lot of movies nowadays. There's no build up to actually educate us and make us feel like we're there with them, that we should actually care about what happens to these people or why they have these tragic backstories of their parents. Us being told these kids' parents are all dead is literally like a flash in the pan, like, oh fucking well. It's in one ear and out the other because they do nothing to make you feel like these kids are like anything in this movie. Besides just Goonies, going on a Goonie adventure. Another thing, this is kind of like a secondary thought that came to me after I got home from the movie. Why are there people working on this fucking mining planet to begin with? I mean, that's the big selling point of why these kids want off this planet. That's the whole reason why they're gonna go hijack the Romulus. Is because everyone that works there basically until they're dead and they get the black lung. Why? Why are there people doing any kind of mining on any fucking planet? We are so far advanced in technology where we have ships that can fucking fly light years across the galaxy and work on fucking DNA and alien code genetics, and we have synthetics running all around more than we had fucking replicants in Blade Runner. And you're telling me that Weyland-Yutani would rather just send regular people down to a planet to work and die when we have synthetics that can do everything? And they're carrying canaries around still like it's the fucking 1920s. That just doesn't even make sense, like just on a basic level of a sci-fi movie. Why is that even happening? I don't know. Weird. It kind of like shreds apart the whole reason why these kids are even on this planet. So whatever, you want to see an alien movie or not, that's what you get, I guess. Anyway, the kids all get together. They want to get off this planet. They know the Romulus is up there because some of them, I guess, are like masterclass hackers mixed with fucking Fast and the Furious shit. I don't fucking know. So they all agree. They go up there. And of course things go awry pretty fucking quick because in logic terms, I have to try to separate myself from these kids' ways of thought processing. We just hooked up to a Weyland-Yutani space station that is abandoned for some reason, we don't know. But what's the first thing that maybe we should do? Power the whole thing the fuck on, and all of a sudden, for all they know, it could send alerts right back to Weyland-Yutani. It's like, why the fuck is this space station fired up? We've seen Weyland-Yutani before take really drastic measures in trying to annihilate people. So, I don't know, that just seemed completely dumb, especially because the whole thing was for them to be like a spec ops, little quiet in and out mission to get these fucking pods. So, in true trope-like fashion, they turn on the ship and they realize that the pods, the cryopods that they need, because this planet that they're hoping exists, though they want to fly to, they don't have enough energy, they don't have enough gas in them, basically, to freeze them for 9 years. I didn't know what the big deal was, why they had to keep saying it was going to be a 9-year voyage. I get that they would have to get supplies for a 9-year voyage, but you're taking on a fucking Weyland-Yutani fucking military experiment place. I mean, I think that if you're gonna break all the laws, might as well break them all and go fucking rob some shit if you need to. And it's a fucking giant space station. I don't know. Anyway, the logic is just beyond me. Anyway, they don't have enough gas. They go find the cooling tanks and they yank them out. Big mistake, obviously. Because instead of just looking around the room before they did it, which the facehuggers are like this far away from them while they're doing it, they disengage the coolant tanks and all the facehuggers thaw out. Oops. So the facehuggers, I will say, we all know that they're creepy. We all know that they're fucking dangerous, very dangerous. I mean, it could take one false move of not paying attention and they're on you. So it was cool to see a lot of facehuggers like that. We didn't see anything like that in any of the movies except for Alien vs. Predator and Alien Isolation in the video game. That was another thing that I will give it points to, not for anything that it actually did, but there was a lot of nods to the video game. If you played the video game and you like know it intimately, you see the save stations all around from the video game in the Romulus. You hear and see like little nods to the game all around, like just sprinkled in there. So that was kind of neat. The facehuggers were cool. Now, the whole reason they can not see human beings if their body temperature is a certain level, where did they get this information from? I don't know. It literally, everything was like guesswork. That's why I keep calling it a Goonies movie, because everything that these kids in this, and including the android, I keep forgetting to bring up the android, Andy. I keep forgetting to bring him up because he acts all stupid, right? He's damaged. And then they find another synthetic, which we'll get to later. They find another synthetic, put its disc inside of Andy's head, and think this is gonna be a good idea. Why, if they already know that they're illegally on a ship, and they were to put a disc from another android that worked on that ship, that obviously looks completely fucked up, by the way, half melted, why would they think it's a good idea? Why would they not think that the android would just reprogram itself and be like, who the fuck are you on this ship, and just kill everyone? They're just bad choices all around from everyone in this group. Everyone. And like I said, it doesn't matter because you don't care about the kids. The kids literally are like nothing. Yeah, so Andy gets all upgraded and he can talk clearly, and he's a little bit more dangerous. He knows a little bit more what's going on now. Now, when they flip the dead, seemingly dead android over, or synthetic, it's Ash. But it's not Ash. His name's Rook or something like that. But it's the same thing. It's another Ash model from Alien. You know, the twitchy models that Bishop mentions. And I gotta say, why did they use CGI like that? Like, why did he look that way? Like, immediately to the human eye, it's obvious that it's like really almost like Sopranos bad CGI. If you know what I'm talking about, when the mother character in The Sopranos died in real life, the actress died, and they put another old lady in and CGI'd her face onto that person, and it's really apparent and it looks really fucking weird and like, I don't know, it looks fucking stupid. Why didn't they just use practical effects and just build an whole nother fucking Ash model puppet? I don't understand. Anyway, that's a nitpick. Whatever. It was nice to see another Ash model. At least that makes sense. That's something that makes sense. It makes sense because of the timeline of not having the nice Bishop models made yet. But whatever. Anyway, they're going through the ship. The Huggers are getting all out. The Xenomorph pops out of a person, one of the kids. I think the Chinese lady or whatever, the pilot of their ship. There's this, oh God, it's so hard for me to like, sitting on the floor, I need a pillow. It's so hard for me to give this movie credit to almost like anything because of the tactics they use that are just like completely MacGyver mixed with Goonies. Like this one girl that's supposed to be the new Ripley-like character is coming up with things that no one I've ever seen in any alien movie or comic book have ever come up with before. So like freezing the Facehugger's tail to get it off the chick's face. I mean, that's brilliance right there. I've never seen that before and it actually worked. Kinda. Now with all the miscellaneous deaths of these kids that you don't give a shit about that are going on, like the Xenomorph starts killing them off, I'm gonna get into the part that I find like the most annoying and the most what the fuck moment of the entire film, I think. And that is the reference to the black goo in Prometheus. The Ash robot gives a whole speech about life and mutating genetics and DNA to make humans the bigger and stronger and faster and whatever the fuck. He can't wait for the humans to evolve on their own to become better. And then he brings up a hologram of the black vase with the black goo and says something like the lines like, "Thanks to the Prometheus." So basically, they retcon everything that happens in Prometheus. Because if you don't recall, if you've not seen Prometheus or not seen it recently, I know it was a long fucking time ago when that movie came out, but the Prometheus never makes it off that planet with the black goo. It never even had the black goo was on the Prometheus, but the Prometheus never fucking made it off the planet. It made it into a million fucking pieces when it was destroyed trying to take out the engineer's fucking ship. So how the fuck did they get their hands on it? You can't even say that it's because of David from Prometheus or Alien Covenant, because we know how that ended. So how the fuck did they get it? I don't know. I raised this question because if you watch the movie and you use your brain just a little bit, none of it all just starts falling apart. The whole plot starts like making no sense. When you take in account everything I've brought up already that's nonsensical, and now you're adding retcons to what actually happened in another Ridley Scott canonical film to these movies. Like, what the fuck? How did they get the black goo? Why the fuck did they think that they could use it? They're just like, oh, because it's hilarious. Because in Prometheus, right? The actual supposed, I always say this whenever I have to bring up Wayland, like the actual human being that runs the company. But according to Prometheus, that is the real Wayland. Well, I mean, also Alien vs. Predator was supposed to be the real Wayland also, but whatever. And in Alien 3, the real Wayland. I don't know. But in Prometheus, that supposedly was supposed to be the real Wayland. He gets fucking murked almost immediately by the engineer. I don't know. All of it's fucking, it's garbled mess, doesn't make sense. And then we get to the point where, and I'm not even kidding you, I really tried to invest my time in this and like use my brain and like think of how these things could have happened. I wasn't going into this movie to just shit on it. We're getting to the last part, the last 30 minutes of the film, and it just boring. And then it turns into like 3 different movies at once. It tries to be like The Matrix at one point. It has a shit ton of quotes and one-liners and nods to a movie that hadn't even come out yet in this timeline of events. A lot of Ripley quotes in there from Aliens, and this is supposed to be before that. And there's literal scenes that are shot for shot trying to recreate the most badass moments in Aliens. Like when she's being shown how to use the pulse rifle, when she goes down in the elevator and brings the grate up. I don't know. That to me is just like, we reverted all the way back to Alien Resurrection. Which I am gonna say Alien Resurrection is a better movie. It's a fucking better movie than this. It makes more sense. I don't like some of the stuff that happens in Alien Resurrection. Is it very comical? Yeah. But the fucking story makes sense for the most part. This, the whole reason why I went in this movie not having like a whole like chip on my shoulder about it is because I knew it wasn't going to take place after Alien Covenant. I did no research on the movie. I watched 0 trailers at all. Went in blind. I wanted to go in as blind as possible because trailers nowadays try to spoil most of the movie before you even get to see the movie now. So I stayed away from all trailers, all news, everything since the movie came out, like a week and a half ago. I wanted to go in fresh because I love this franchise. Now, I thought this was just like some sort of weird side story. Obviously that went out the window as soon as I saw that Nostromo was involved. And then Prometheus was mentioned, and Ash Robot is in there. And then we get to the end. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you haven't seen Alien Resurrection, it's Alien Resurrection all fucking over again. Not in a direct sense, but I mean fucking very close. So, the black goo, going back to the black goo, the girl that's pregnant throughout the movie, another one of the kids who's pregnant, she's gonna poop out a baby. And she is about to die because she got, well, I don't even know if she's about to die. It looks like a flesh wound for all I know. But she gets hit with like the predator's tail, or the alien's tail, and she's hurt. They give her an option to use this black goo on herself to heal herself. And her friends are like, no, just go back to the ship and we'll be right back for you. Unsensically, she just grabs it and jabs herself with it when she gets up there by herself. The end of the movie comes around. The aliens are supposedly destroyed. Everything's done. The Romulus is no more. She poops out the baby, and the baby turns into a half xenomorph, half human-like, like 10-foot tall monstrosity with a head of a fucking engineer. The engineers, these fuckers that they put in Prometheus, these guys. How and why, I don't fucking know. I sat and thought about it yesterday while I was here after the movie for a while. I was like, why would it look like a fucking engineer? It doesn't make any sense. And then I thought, Well, it's because it's the black goo. It has to be because of the black goo. And then I was like, no, it can't be because of the black goo from Prometheus, because the black goo was used. The black goo didn't come from the engineers. They just made it. The black goo was meant to create biological warfare to destroy other planets. So it wouldn't make sense for it to have an engineer's fucking head. I don't know. It's very fucking disturbing. I'll place an image in here since most of you, I'm assuming, have seen it. But it looks fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. And you know what's also funny is I brought this up that Alien Resurrection is a better movie, and this is Alien Resurrection all over again, but Alien Resurrection's alien baby monster makes sense within the context that is presented. It doesn't, like, jazz hands excuse give you like some sort of thing like, oh, the goo did it. And then you have some sort of fucking mongoloid baby xenomorph engineer guy running around. That I don't know. Oh God, the whole thing was so fucking weird, and I'm like going. At this point, I was like this. I was like, what? Like, I wasn't like happy. I'm like, what am I watching? Like, what is happening now? Like, what is this movie anymore? We're not even in an alien movie anymore at this point. We're just in a bad sci-fi channel movie. So the movie ends. Obviously, the only two people that are still alive is the main girl and the fucking android. And maybe the girl that pooped out the baby. I can't remember. So Andy, the main girl, and maybe the baby pooper. I don't know. But their whole goal still is to head to that planet at the end. Whatever. And then when I was in the car driving home after the movie, I'm like, this makes sense now why this movie ended this way, because there's no ending credit scene. I stayed for the whole end, watched the whole credits all the way through for nothing. It makes sense to me, and I think this is what is going to happen, is that this girl and this synthetic, this is like a prequel story for that show that's going to come out that I didn't even know was coming out, this Alien Earth show. I really have a bad feeling about this, that it's going to be exactly what I said. It's just a prequel to that show. On a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, I give it a 3 or 4. I don't know what is worse. The fact that the plot literally leaves nothing to be desired, doesn't hook you in at all. And let me say this, because I know there's going to be people in here like typing like, oh, you fucking retard, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I grew up with the Alien franchise. I love the Alien franchise, and I've watched the Alien movies a million times and read the comic books all growing up through as a kid and an adult. So the plot sucks. The kids suck. The acting sucks, except for Andy, and I can't even say it's an actor playing the Ash synthetic because it's a fucking AI face that they just glued on there. So the xenomorphs, whatever, they look fine. They look like xenomorphs. The Facehuggers were cool, predominant in this movie. But where was the Queen? Where was it? Where was the Queen? Because at one point in the movie, they go down in the ship, and it's starting to look like a hive, like the engineer ship did in LV-426. There was a lot of fucking xenomorphs on that ship. Had to have been a lot of fucking eggs in that ship. And you can't give me the fucking theory, because I've had this theory trying to be thrown at me before because it's not canon. The theory that once the xenomorph gets a hold of you, that you start turning into an egg and randomly become a xenomorph. You can't give me that theory in this movie because we see all the people glued to the wall that had their chest blown open. So, where are all the eggs coming from? I don't know. There was not, whatever. Doesn't matter. And then having all the retcon stuff thrown in there with Prometheus makes no fucking sense whatsoever. The whole movie, if you are very much into aliens, it doesn't make any sense as a whole. The plot sucks. I mean, I don't know. I really walked into this movie thinking I was gonna like it a lot, or at least my temperament was like really on keel. It was even as fuck. My girlfriend I went to the movie with, I told her that there's no way it can get worse. I walked in saying the movie couldn't get worse because of Alien Covenant was so fucking bad. It couldn't get any worse. I hold this movie on the same level as Covenant. Is there cool things to look at? Yeah. Did they hold more true to the atmospheric look of the technology that was used in Alien? Sure. Does the plot make any fucking sense? No. Are the characters fucking morons? Yes. Do they retcon things? Yes. Do they make a whole nother fucking retarded looking baby monster mongoloid fucking thing? Yes, again, they have. And why is it a part engineer? I don't fucking know. I haven't literally had to think about making an alien related video in what, like 7 or 8 years since Covenant came out. And ever since, all I've done when it comes to aliens is replay Alien Isolation, and I'm like, man, this game is so good. It's so good and so true to the Alien franchise. That should have been the fucking movie. It shouldn't have been a fucking one-time video game and then a comic book and then a mobile game or whatever the fuck it was after that. But we can't get nice things like that. And this is our first attempt from seeing an alien movie under the Disney banner. I'm not having high hopes for the show. I'll try to watch it. I even gave Rings of Power a chance once. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Alien Romulus. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of people that think I'm a fucking retard and I don't know what I'm talking about, because I saw how much money and all the praise this movie was getting after it came out. I saw how hard the merchandise and the fucking PR push was for this movie. More than any alien movie I've ever been alive for was this. And it was fucking weird to see. I've never seen that before, ever, with an alien movie. A PR push that hard. I don't know. It makes me worried what could be in the future for the Alien franchise. No one ever goes on comic books or books and tries to use those stories because those stories are actually good. I mean, I would personally love to see Hive War or just about anything from the comic book series come out. I don't know. Anyway, this is Forrest, this is Retro or Die, and I'll see you on the next video. Hopefully it's a better one than this one. Later.